Hello, guys. Bob here for the TNL Network. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live, the show that started it all. On TNL tonight, we welcome back a familiar friend of the show and one of the most trusted and influential expert digital creators in the Claus community. She specializes in websites, branding, and marketing for Santas and Mrs. Clauses and holiday entertainers, helping performers turn their Christmas magic into a polished professional online presence. All this and more right here on Tuesday Night Live. This segment of tonight's show is brought to you by North Pole Cornerstones, a new, unique, and entertaining 4-day educational experience. You are watching Tuesday Night Live.
Welcome to North Pole Cornerstones, the most magical 4-day educational Christmas experience you'll ever discover. Join Santa Bob, Anna Claus, and friends for interactive workshops, festive fun, creative learning, and unforgettable holiday memories. Whether you're a Christmas enthusiast, educator, or performer, this one-of-a-kind experience is designed just for you. Register today and take advantage of our early bird special before it's gone. Visit North Pole Cornerstones and make this Christmas truly extraordinary. Round 4 is set for February 18th through the 21st, 2027 at the Hilton Garden Inn and Conference Center in Edmond, Oklahoma City North. At Cornerstones, we've taken a different approach to learning. We've completely reimagined the learning experience. For more information, go to npcornerstones.com and see for yourself what all the excitement is. Just ask any of our alumni their experience. They'll be glad to share with you. We let them speak for themselves. Reach out and ask them. That's npcornerstones.com. Come join us in February.
Okay, everyone, please put your hands together for my co-host this week, Santa Scott Seriton. Clown has the week off, and Angela Mack, our producer. Hello, guys. How are we?
I'm great. How are you, Angela?
Doing great. Thank you.
Bob, you're looking good.
Thank you. You too, Scott.
Yep, love the hat. Love the hat.
Yes.
Nice touch there.
Got to have a little Christmas in August.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
Absolutely.
it is already August, isn't it? Where did the year go? My
Well,
goodness.
the problem is there's not enough heat in Oklahoma, so I figure I need to stay warm.
Well, I happen to know you were the mid 104 or 5 today, I think. Same as here in Dallas. So,
We
yeah,
had
we're
a
in the
this last week, so
we're in the dog days of summer for sure.
yeah.
All right, don't forget you can experience us on your bigger screen where the experience comes alive. That's over on YouTube at the Tuesday Night Live Show 1225. Looks like Nightboss says it's 98 degrees right this moment. So, but the humidity is only 28%, and that is a good thing.
Almost like Vegas, not quite.
Almost like Vegas, she says. Oh, my goodness. Okay, don't forget to go over to Santa Central Cherry Hill Programs Facebook group and join if you have not become a member over there. Go over there. They like to play games, keep you up on all the happenings. If you're looking for part-time, full-time, even fill-in work, they're hiring set managers. They're hiring photographers. So, it's the hiring season. Go over and check it out and be part of the fun. If you don't, if you haven't joined yet, just go join and play along with all the fun over on Santa Central Cherry Hill Programs.
Hey, Bob, by the way, now that you've mentioned that, I want to throw this in there. Folks, if you're looking for a seasonal job and you want to work at the mall at Bob's Set or something like that, jump off and go to Cherry Hill if you've never worked for them before. And don't forget to tell them Bob sent you.
Yeah, please do that. That helps me out in the long run. And,
It may help you get your foot in the door, too.
well,
Maybe.
I don't know about all that. But anyway, we'll see what it does. But don't forget to mention my name if you do. Thank you for that so much. All right, so the first half of tonight's TNL show trivia is brought to you by School of Santas, where fun and education meets over there in Branson, Missouri.
Okay, well, are we ready for the question?
Nope, gotta
No,
play
we
the promo
gotta
first.
play.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'll wait on you. ready for trivia, of course.
Well, yeah, we
No?
kind of are, but let's chat for just a moment here, real quick. We always try to tie in our trivia now to what our show content is, or maybe our guest, and so that's what tonight's premises of the questions are. So you can go ahead and read them out now.
Okay, we're back on.
Uh huh.
Okay, well, are we ready for it?
We are ready. Let's go.
Okay, which color is the most commonly associated with trust in marketing? A, blue, B, red, C, green, D, black.
And we want to remind everyone that we need the letter and the answer so that the producer can spot that correct answer easier that way. And
Once
if you
again, the
win,
question, Bob, you want me to read it again?
well, we can, but real quick, let's tell everyone that if you win, what you win is your name on the wheel of destiny, which is what my coaches is named it. Your name goes on the wheel, and you get a chance to win a TNL scholarship to North Pole Cornerstones. You also get a chance for a scholarship to School of Santas, both of those in 2027. All right, go ahead and reread that one more time.
Which color is the most commonly associated with trust in marketing? A, blue, B, red, C, green, D, black. And
Now,
our
wait,
bonus, huh?
we have a bonus. That's right.
And our bonus question is, what was the first ever social media platform launched in 1997? A, MySpace, B, Facebook, C, 6 Degrees, D, Reddit.
Right. Remember with this.
What was the first ever social media platform launched in 1997? Once again, A, MySpace, B, Facebook, C, 6 Degrees, and D, Reddit. Those are your questions for tonight.
That's right. Remember, play, play, play. There's no limits to how many times you can win. Get your name on that wheel as much as you can. That way your odds are better. So play along and good luck to everyone. All right, let's go ahead and move along.
Since 1948, one suit defined Santa. Designed by Charles W. Howard and worn by the world-famous Santa Claus School. Worn for presidents, movies, parades, and the most magical moments in families' lives. This is not a costume, but finely tailored, hand-sewn clothing made in the USA. With expert cleaning, restoration, and storage services available, Santa and Company LLC makes Santa magical.
Okay. Well, tonight on Tuesday Night Live, we're thrilled to bring you one of the most influential digital creators in the Claus community. Every Claus performer or vendor doing business in the red suit community needs an online digital presence, and our guest specializes in websites, branding, and marketing for Santas and Mrs. Clauses, helping those in the Claus community with what many call the hard part, that digital footprint.
Right. She first joined us back in September of 2024, and since then, she's become an even bigger part of our world, not just through her work with Creatively Techy, but as a valued vendor at North Pole Cornerstones for the past 2 years. And we're thrilled that she's already signed up for NPC 2027 in Oklahoma City, where she'll be stepping into a new role at NPC as a presenter. And we are so excited about that, sharing her expertise directly with our attendees.
Please welcome back to the Tuesday Night Live show, Jenny Watt of Creatively Techy. Hey, Jenny.
There we go. Thank you.
It's good to have you. It's great to see you again since Wondrous Women, I guess. So
Yes, I think that is the last time we saw each other.
Been a short time, but it's always good to spend time with you. So,
Yep.
guys, tonight we're going to dive into what's new in the digital landscape, how Clauses can strengthen their online presence for 2026 season and beyond. And we're excited to learn from you again what can make a difference in how we market ourselves. Welcome back to TNL. We are so glad to have you.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for all you do for the Claus community.
Well, thank you so much. We really try hard. I don't know if it shows, but we're really trying hard.
I noticed.
Very good. So let's start off. Families decide before they ever meet you. Why your first impression begins long before the visit. You often say families start deciding long before they ever meet us. What do you mean by that?
It takes, generally in marketing, 7 touches for a person to become a client of a business. And this can be your social media presence, this is your website, this is your Google business, this may be showing up in person at networking events. But on the first one, they just become aware of you. On the following ones, they get to know who you are. And I think a lot of the Claus community don't realize that your marketing for next year, 2027, has already started. And so what you're posting now, all the way through the season, all the way through next year on social media can affect what people think of you. And this is on your personal as well as your business, because I know for us, a lot of our clients are on both. And I don't think people realize that some of the things they post may be costing them customers. And it's, not about being Claus and upbeat all the time on your personal, but it's definitely not going towards the negative side or involving yourself in things that Santas really have no business involving themselves in.
You would think that would be common sense, but you're amazed, and I'm amazed. We're all amazed at how many times we see negativity
Yep.
coming from the wrong sources.
But people, when they're ready to make a decision, they're going to find every bit of information about you that they can. So if they started your Google business, they may head to your website or your social media. If they found you on social media, they're going to head to the website. And it's good if all of your presences do represent you in the best light.
I have a question. If someone only had an hour to improve their first impression, where would they start?
I think the single biggest mistake that people make on their business presence on social media and on the website is not having a clear call to action, not having a clear next step to take. Without having, a booking button or an email address or a phone number or a website or something on your social media, people go there and they don't know. When you do a post, especially, advertising that you're open for bookings, tell them where to go, tell them what to do. And that can be, a simple thing to do that keep people from going to your website and then going, what's next, not feeling like doing the work to do that. And that's it, you've lost a potentially wonderful customer.
And something you would think would be so simple. It's not
And
always as simple as it looks on the face, for sure.
every social media post should include, and it seems ridiculous, but if you start looking at marketing, everybody else, it's buy now, call now, do this now, scan the QR code now. If you're posting on social media, go to my website now, link is on my profile, call me now, message me now, and all of these are great. Oh, that's the next step I take to get to you.
So the simplest thing, in essence, in a nutshell, is put a button on there.
Yes.
The
A
light.
phone number, an email, something.
Works for me.
I think I jumped the question, but I think she already answered it.
Yeah, go ahead and let's jump into building experiences, and you can start with the title of that segment over there on your other show.
Building experiences that families remember for years. What separates a good visit from one a family remembers for the rest of their lives?
People start out, they want the nice suits and all the gadgets and all of that. And yes, those things are wonderful. There are times when they make a difference, but I think for us, the heart is where it's really at. It's For us, we send out an email a week before an event. Please tell us about the home visits. Your kids, what grades are they in? Who are their pets? What's something that they're proud of from this year? And being able to sit down. I mean, these are people we're seeing year after year, and hey, I heard you had a home run in your baseball game this summer. Tell me about that. And just for them, Santa knows. It's like, yes, we love to help you celebrate all these wonderful things. But you never know. I mean, it's nice to go in with some kind of a presentation prepared, but you never know, what may have happened 15 minutes before. We've had deaths in the family that we've walked into, earlier that day or the day before. And, yes, we're bringing Christmas joy, but it's also taking a minute to be present with the family and helping them to celebrate their lost family member in a way that still creates Christmas magic. That's a part of the book that we wrote, Last Christmas Wish, is about celebrating, the family members that you've lost and remembering all the Christmas magic that they made throughout their lives.
It would be a tough situation to walk in on and kind of be blindsided with it and have to improvise on the run. But that's part of being a professional, so you got to be prepared.
Yep, and it's great that we do put a lot of emphasis in the schools on the presence and the performance and the appearance. But I think there needs to be more of a move towards the heart and being able to handle these different situations. Family reunion next year, I'll actually be talking on handling the tough questions.
Very good, and that's a topic that needs to be talked more and more about, really.
Yep.
So tell me, why do you think focusing only on getting more bookings can actually hold performers back?
It's more than just getting the bookings. I know at this time of year we start seeing everybody, my calendar's full, and I'm always so excited for them. But more than that, it's getting the kind of events that you want, the kind of visits that you want. John told me a few years ago he'd love to fly into an event on a helicopter, and we got to do that 2 years ago. This will be our third year. And if we had just been so focused on building the calendar, we might have missed opportunities like that, the things that, bring us the joy. I'll say this, I hate the word gig, because to me, it's you're separating yourself from your audience, essentially. You're there to perform, you're not there to connect. So we do events, we do visits, and I think when we are focused on just book, we miss the opportunity of creating a season that lights us up.
Yeah, I got to experience the helicopter bringing me in 2 seasons in a row. And it was on my bucket list, just like John. I always wanted to do it, thought it was really cool. And so I'm at the helipad, and I'm nervous as I can be. Oh my gosh, I never flown a helicopter before. What's it going to be like? You hear some of these stories. And then the crew sits down, they shut the engine down, they take me out there to the front of the helicopter and say, okay, we need to go through a safety meeting, okay? Start talking about it. In case of a hard crash, we're all going to do this and we're going to do that. And my heart rate went like 90 to nothing at that point. By the time I sat down and they had me strapped in, I was literally shaking.
Oh.
But as soon as that thing lifted up and you feel how smooth it is, and then it drives forward, it's just all that's gone. It was so much fun. I'm so glad I got to do it. I'm sure John is too.
He's loving it.
All right, Scott.
Okay, Bob, I got lost here.
Okay. Number 3. Second number 3.
Okay, can you share an example of a small moment that became a lifelong memory for a family?
We have a family that we've visited for several years, and they have a son who has been mostly nonverbal. And in the form they filled out for us, prior to the visit, they said that, please encourage him to use his words, and when he does, praise him. And, we walked in and, greeting the family, and he comes around the corner and Santa! And I mean, that meant, the world to us, the times that we've seen him, these, the interactions have been, kind of mixed. But to get that kind of reaction and then to be able to talk with him and praise him on all he's done. But it's taking the time to get to know the families. We're blessed that we get to do a lot of repeats. It's being aware of their situations and supporting their situations a lot. But yeah, they loved it. We loved it. It will be one of my favorites.
Actually validates that you are doing what you meant to be doing, that, the Lord has blessed you.
Yes, truly.
Okay, let's see here. Every great Christmas performer has a story. So discovering what makes you unique and communicating it clearly. That's where we're at. Why is having a personal story so important for Christmas performers?
There's a bunch of us, and we all look alike. And if people are out looking at our website, are following our social media, what's going to set us apart are the stories that we tell. When I go to our quarterly luncheons with the group, or I talk to the people at the schools that we go to as vendors, I like asking them, what was a meaningful message from this season? And, even when I'm building websites, what was a meaningful moment for you? And listening to that, hearing them light up, asking some follow-up questions, I get a better picture of who they are. And that's part of what I think we need to bring into our website content, our social media. I see a lot of Santa's open for bookings. Santa would love to come to your house and create Christmas memories, interact with your kids, encourage them to spread Christmas magic, something a little more meaningful than just open for bookings. And that's what's going to let people know your heart. That's what's going to set you apart from everybody else in their minds. And it's not difficult to do, on your Google business listing. There's plenty of places for pictures with descriptions. On the About You page, talk about why you got into it, what it means to you. In your list of services, don't just to say, Santa shows up and, we'll optionally deliver gifts. Santa will greet the family, talk to the kids about what they've done this year, give them the idea of the experience that they're going to expect. And that's going to create more of the connection that we need to be able to actually move from stranger to beloved client.
Many performers worry they aren't unique enough. What would you say to them?
Again, go back to your why. Go back to your story. Go back to what lit you up as a kid. I have got a client, friend, associate who said that he's a hippie at heart, and he had kind of been dabbling with cool hippie Santa, and creates tie-dye shirts. He's a Grateful Dead fan, and I told him lean into it, and he, not that he needed the permission, but he has been very grateful for being allowed to do that. And I think that's the best thing that we can do, is to bring who we are to the role. Yes, there is, a lot to the history of Santa and who he is and what he brings. But I think within that, there's still a lot of ways for us to bring our personality. And again, that's what's going to set you apart in your marketing and in your business.
I can definitely say, oh, hippies don't fade away; they just become Santa.
There's some
Many of
truth
Definitely.
to
us
that,
in
Bob.
the age group, and we were called hippies at one time. How can someone discover and communicate what makes them memorable?
Tell your stories. That's it. People, we if you think about the brands, we've got the Publix chain of stores here, and all of their ads are story based. And so I find myself, you know, hands down, phone down, computer ignored, and watching the commercial. And then you get to the end and it goes, oh, by the way, this was a Publix commercial. And I think that's a good way to do things. Tell your story. If you're brave enough to get on live video, do a live video and talk about who you are, why you're doing this, a meaningful thing. Tell your stories. Tell about, one of the most hilarious adventures you had as Santa. And again, that's where people are going to get to see your personality. And I think that's going to sell more than, the high-end suit and all of the gadgets. It's your heart, it's your story, it's who you really are.
Hey, and Scott, guess what you can do with egg on your face?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, let's go to the next area. Creating a business that brings joy instead of constant stress. Why do
Ooh-wee.
so many Christmas performers lose the joy they hoped this business would bring?
Good question.
A part of it is not being themselves. The other part is not building a business that reflects who they are. We talked earlier about filling your calendar versus filling your calendar with meaningful events. I encourage the people that follow me to think about the kind of events that you want to do. Don't want to do the mall thing, don't do the mall thing. There's other opportunities. Don't want to do the big performance shows, you prefer the one-on-one, great, do home visits. You want to do the big shows, you want to do the parades, then okay, this is what you need to do to be able to get into those. And what works for you guys or anybody, is not necessarily the season I want. After, my first season with John, it's like, okay, home visits, that's it. That's what I love. I want to spend the time one-on-one talking with the kids, teaching them, learning from them, just inspiring them, teacher at heart. So, that's what I want to do. And I think that, instead of trying to fill a calendar, I've got a granddaughter whose birthday is the week before Thanksgiving. So her birthday is sacred. Any other events in the month, those dates get blocked out. So I've got time to do the things that light me up, even beyond being the season. And I think that when people focus on filling the calendar, they're giving up the joy. Focus on what brings you joy, then the calendar will fill up.
That's true. Very true.
The old song by Sheryl Crow, and I'm all about the music. I mentioned this the first time you were on about Jenny Jenny, but Sheryl Crow, if it makes you happy, I mean, it's so true. You know, it, if you're not doing what makes you happy, then you're doing it wrong. So, all right. So, what does a Christmas business that feels like Christmas actually look like?
It reflects who you are. Again, setting boundaries. John and I decided a couple of years ago Mondays were off so that we had time to rest, relax, recover, recoup, get ready for the next week. Um, but, and I know this is one of the things when I first met John, he was completely overwhelmed by the business side of it. Handling the schedule, making sure that he didn't end up booking himself in two places. And so a lot of it is building a system that allows you essentially to go on autopilot when the whole season is doing the whole season thing. If you're, constantly waking up and worried about, where's all the pieces and parts we need, one of the Mrs. Clauses mentioned in the group that she's creates bags for each of her events. So the morning she wakes up, she's got an event, she knows that she's got the bag that has everything in for her event. And it takes so much of that mental load off of you if, all the booking information is set, whether it's paper or digital, in a format that works for you. If, all of your props and suit items and spares and everything are set and ready to go, then we can focus on bringing the joy and keeping the joy.
What's one of the mindset shifts that can reduce stress almost immediately?
Stop comparing yourself. Like I said, this time of year, we're hearing messages periodically of, I'm completely booked. Every weekend is completely filled, and I know for the newer Santas that there may be a sense of, well, I'm not completely booked yet. This is not good, and we, spiral down. Focus on what you are doing. Okay, maybe I had 5 events last year and this year I have 7. Hey, we've got growth. The 7 events I have are all home visits that with families that I think are going to be absolutely wonderful. So no, we don't have a completely booked season, but we have a season that will be meaningful to us anyway.
Okay.
All right. Everyone stick around. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Jenny on the other side.
Oh, hello there. Yes, of course, it's me, Santa Claus. Now, you may not believe this, but one of the questions I get asked the most is, well, not how do I do it all in one night? No, but where do I get all my things from? Yes, now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the finest things I have. My glorious gloves, all my knickknacks and trinkets and things. Yes, all the giveaways. Yes, for me to give to the children before the main event. Yes, if I see them in the streets, if they come and see me, I like to have something in my pocket I can treat them with. Yes, and there's one special place where I can find all these magical goods. And that is, of course, stuffforsanta.com. You should head there now and see what magical gifts you can find. Mrs. Claus, have you got my ice pad? Yes, log me on, I'm going to have a look. I shall see you there. Stuffforsanta.com. Merry Christmas.
Oh, hi. I'm Santa's official photographer, a name given to me by the Christmas community, but you can call me Jessica. For 35 years, I've been a portrait photographer, specializing in children and family. But here lately, I've been focusing on creating artistic images of Santa, Mrs. Claus, and their Christmas elves. What starts off as a simple photograph is transformed into a digital masterpiece. This isn't just photography. It's an exchange where the performer steps fully into their role, immersed in a real-life theatrical set where together we bring that story to life. If you're ready to elevate your presence with images that truly stand out, visit holidayphotomagic.com.
All right, welcome back with our featured guest, Jenny Watts, Creatively Techy. We're finding out all the techie stuff tonight. Love these questions, and we want to jump on in here. You say have said don't rebuild the sleigh every December. Now, simple systems that save time and reduce overwhelm. You love talking about systems. Why are they so important in a seasonal business?
We touched on that a minute ago. I don't know how everybody else's seasons go, but I can imagine they're at least as crazy as ours are. Um, some of the busy weekends, we've got 5, 6, 7, 8 appointments, some of them an hour apart. And having a system where you know you've got everything ready to go is, nothing beats that. But the systems are also going to get you clients. Um, think about and go through your booking process that your clients are going through. If you don't have a booking form, then if they're calling you or emailing you, you know, have a automatic response that you can copy and paste that says, somebody says, hey, we want to see if you're available for this date. Well, email them back a PDF or an email and say, all right, this is the information I need, and somewhere check off the steps so that you can keep up with it and not lose a client somewhere in the middle. Um, if you've got money to spend, investing in some sort of a booking system, whether it's paper or digital based, will probably save a lot of headaches of worried about, am I going to be able to make it from one event to another? Do I have everything I need? Do I know who I'm supposed to contact when I get there? Just all of that you can keep, any of the standard forms and anything that that you can reuse every year, improve on if you need to, so that you've uh, got everything you need as you're visiting your. Sorry, a little thing popped up and so that you've got everything you need as you're heading out to your events in the season.
Well, I was just going to comment that I'm so envious of you because you are so organized, and then that little thing you popped up and threw you off your game.
Sorry, my bad.
Sorry, ADHD. Ooh, look shiny.
The heck was
It would
that?
probably throw me off too, because
Yeah.
I'm easily distracted.
Well, Jenny, what are a few simple systems every Christmas performer should have? Do you recommend certain um, things that are out there that are available digitally? I mean, I kind of threw that part into that question, but I'm just more curious, even for my own self.
Have a system. Think about what works best with you. I have been in the digital world since I was 15. And so having everything in my phone and ready to go gives me more comfort than anything. I know other people in my age group are more used to the paper. And being ADHD, I know I know how things can get scattered and lost and you know every place. Get some sort of a book that you can keep up with that has all of your information in it, and keep that with you. And that is the only place that it goes. If you're using a digital system, everything goes in there. And that is really the single best advice. As far as systems, I know there's many out there. You get, general public tools like Calendly. You have tools like Kringle Tracker that will work. The cool thing about those is that they'll only give you space. People that are booking only give them the space that's actually available, allowing you travel time before and after whatever parameter. You don't have to, especially if there's two of you that may be working on scheduling, that you don't have to worry about checking with one or the other. Everything is there, and It's following the system, create whatever rules, guidelines, boundaries you want and follow them.
I'm kind of with you. I use my phone. So, I mean, every date and every booking I have is in my phone. And in the past, I have shared that with the other performers. We just share emails. So,
Yep.
So
And
how do you,
with Google Calendar, you can share that with people. You can actually publish it so that on your website of what spots you might have available. Um, and the Google Calendar, John and I we have the one calendar that we keep for everything, and anytime I put something on it, he gets a notification, and vice versa.
well, that kind of brings us to the next question. How do good systems actually create more time for magic instead of making things feel more business-like?
If you can get a folder on your computer or a physical folder with all of the forms and replies and standard answer to questions, as we know we get asked the same questions dozens of times, that saves you from having to remember what you said or find the email where you responded last time. And this can be a file that grows and grows and grows. So every time you answer a question, you go, that's a really good answer, go plop it in there. And then copy paste, respond to the next person that asks just that exact same question again. But anything that you can build it, follow it, make all of your resources available just to keep it easy.
okay. How thoughtful improvements can dramatically increase trust and confidence is the next subject. What's an example of a small improvement that had a surprisingly big impact?
I mentioned this earlier, but I'll bring it back up again. Just a very simple call to action on your website. Tell them, put a big button up at the top, book here or contact here or call here. Whatever your booking process is. That is, somebody doesn't go to your website and have to hunt around for what they need to do next. You've made it clear. Make sure it's on your Facebook profile, on your Google business listing, everywhere. Keep your website up to date. And Scott, you mentioned that. Sorry. But they just might be, if they, looking at your website and that's all they ever see, they might be just a little shocked when you show up, since it doesn't seem like you just said you'd
I've lost a little weight, maybe?
Yes. And, revisit your Google business listing. Make sure that you are keeping things up to date, and that's something I encourage my following to do. Is January, let's go in and update everything while we know where all the pictures and reviews and everything are, and we've got those.
So, Jenny, the thing I would recommend to our viewers is that in January they need to call you, because
Absolutely.
in January Bob and I don't have time to call you. We're getting ready to leave for California, and then we come back to Oklahoma, and then we go to Michigan, and then we go to Branson.
Gatlinburg and then Branson.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, anybody out there that if you're a busy Santa and you're going to attend schools and stuff after the season, make sure you get with Jenny to update your stuff in January.
Yep.
Because you'll be following us around to the schools and the different events as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
I want to follow up on something that you mentioned a moment ago, and that is, mom's sitting there and she's talking to dad, and she says, oh my gosh, I looked and I looked and I looked forever to find this Santa that just to me looked like the Santa in my childhood. He was 300 pounds, and who is this little wet noodle that just showed up here? As Scotty has lost 100 plus pounds.
Yep.
All right, so we talked about little details. We've talked about everything but little details. Let's do this. Why do little details matter so much when families are choosing a Santa or a Mrs. Claus?
Um, if you are not keeping track of where they might be in the conversation, if they've called you for the third time and you're not remembering the details, they're not going to be all that impressed with you. Um,
Got it.
you know, taking time to talk to them at the end of the season, get your evaluation, or not your evaluations, your testimonials and reviews. Those give people, especially if they're just encountering you, kind of give people the warm, fuzzy feeling that you're going to be what they're looking for. And if we can encourage the families to leave something more than "he was great," follow up with them, and even if you have to capture it yourself and put it on your website, or do a post on social media sharing the feedback that you got. That's going to be some of the details that people might be looking for when they're trying to decide whether they want to work with you.
Great point.
How do you decide which improvements are worth making first? Obviously, a button is critical.
Yeah, that call to action. Go
your
look at your
website.
website,
Right.
or get your kid to look at your website, or somebody look at your website and see how long it takes them to figure out how to get in touch with you. That's going to be very telling. And you don't need to go out and revamp the whole website. Scott's, yours is, I haven't looked at it, sorry, is probably perfectly lovely, but with the pictures that are out of date, that's going to be a problem. So, take 5 minutes.
Which list you just went to.
Say it again?
You know which list you're going on now, right?
I know, I'm sorry.
No. Actually, one of my sayings that I use when as portraying Santa is, I always tell them about 10 years ago I did away with the naughty list because I felt like that it was too negative.
Yeah.
So now we have improved, and now we have a needs improvement list. And you know which list you fall on now.
I'm sorry.
But anyhow, that's kind of my thing because that's my twist on it. But
I do
Yeah.
the merit system. For every good deed you do, you get an extra check. The more checks you get, the better gift you get. You get upgraded and so forth and so on. But still, same concept. Do away with the naughty list.
Well, we do Christmas magic. So all of the things that kept you on the nice list help create Christmas magic. So we get the kids involved in helping Santa deliver the gifts on Christmas Eve, because we can't do it without Christmas magic.
Love that.
so the comment that Angie just had up from, I think, Kevin, it says picking a Santa from an AI image and expecting that look, make sure you are well represented. Basically, I think that's a mistake. I think you need to use your true image if you're going to try to promote yourself. I may be wrong, but I think that's
guys are enhancing themselves or enhancing their look or their wardrobe, and that's what we're talking about.
it's misleading.
Very much so.
Even when you're doing your site, even on social media, AI is nice. It has a place. Professional photography is wonderful. That shows you off in your best light, but make sure that you're including those one-to-one moments with the kids, the interactions with the kids, because that's going to show who you really are.
Right.
More than, yes, the posed and pretty retouched pictures show, your suit and appearance, but the intimate pictures with the families where you're talking to the kids and you've got that expression on your face, that's going to be what ends up selling somebody.
So let's jump to the next segment here. Don't build your business alone. Why community encouragement and continual learning matters. So the question is, why is community so important in this profession?
I would absolutely not be where I am as a Christmas performer without my community. Um, I have gotten so many ideas from other Mrs. Clauses and Santas. I spent, when John and I first got together, I spent 6 months going through Facebook looking at Mrs. Claus outfits, trying to figure out what I was going to wear. And now it's talking to people when we're faced with a particular challenge. Um, being able to talk to others that may have had that. And I think that is, one of the wonderful things that you guys do, all the different schools. I love going to the schools and, talking to the people that are there and saying, all right, what's your biggest takeaway from what you've seen so far? And just listening to, what has really resonated with them in the different classes. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be here without them.
Well, how has learning from other performers changed the way you approach your own business?
I'm going to say both good and bad. There have been many instances where I'm not going to do that. But there is, a lot of the community that I look at them and go, goals. Um, it's I added my elf delivery. Put my own twist on it, but it was something that one of the Mrs. Clauses in one of the groups talked about, and I thought, oh, that's a cool way of being able to start the season a little earlier because we don't get a lot of our visits until after Thanksgiving. But being able to do the elf deliveries and especially weeknights, be able to drop in and deliver them while the family's eating dinner or something, that's been fun. But how they do their business, listening to the challenges people face, and not only helping them come up with solutions, but then trying to perfect my own systems and way of doing things as well.
Right. Have you dabbled in or gotten into or thought about doing? Let's put it that way. Tuck-ins. Have you tried the tuck-ins yet?
I have not. Not sure how I feel about that yet, but yeah, that's
No, that's right. I was
one
at.
one I've circled around. But John does the sneak peeks,
Yeah.
so that would make it difficult for us going two different directions
It
Christmas
will.
Eve. But
But I think the reason I was asking was you was talking about out in your Mrs. Claus looking for so long at what you want, how you wanted to look, developing your look, and in different ways to start earlier. As a performing Mrs. Claus with Santa, I don't think the tuck-ins would work as well as if you went out as a standalone Mrs. Claus and did your own different events.
yep,
A short home visit to tuck them in, tell them Santa will be here in a few weeks, and kind of lead up to that next level. So
yep.
just just thinking out loud.
Thank you. Noted.
So if someone is feeling stuck or discouraged, what's the first step towards moving forward?
Reach out. Seriously, I have not met a member of the community that has not been willing to help or point in the right direction.
Right.
Um, you know, we've got 3 or 4 different groups that meet quarterly, just going and having lunch once a quarter, touching base, sharing notes, you know, crying on each other's shoulder in January. And it's, it was, even within the various online communities, I know in January there were a lot of people of, I just don't know how much longer I can do this kind of things, and, tried to respond encouragingly as much as possible. And, it was good to see so many others as well. Working with other people, sharing ideas. I I am happy for anybody to copy anything I'm doing, because for me, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. And they're going to put their own twist on it. They're not taking anything away from my business. And if it helps them, by golly, do it.
All in this together, one giant, community that serves the children and the families. And for me,
Yep.
that's what's always been also. I don't, I try to help everyone in any way I can, and share, share, share.
Yep.
All right, Scott.
Well, Jenny, if you could leave every Christmas performer with just one piece of advice as they prepare for this season, what would it be?
Build a business that reflects the same care, wonder, trust, and joy you want the families to experience. Remember that your greatest legacy will not be how busy you were, but how people felt because you were part of their Christmas story. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Great advice. Great advice. Bob, can I interject something here before we move on to our sponsors?
Well, yeah, and I want to do the deal with the
I know.
photo that I showed
That's right.
earlier after that. So go ahead first.
I'd like for our community to just take 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and let's give a little blessing and a prayer to the community Jeff McMullen lives in. It's hard. They've had some big tornadoes that have pretty much devastated the area. From what I understand, Jeff had a little bit of damage. Here's a picture from it. Now, how the cake got there right side up on a tree, I don't know. But let's just take a moment of silence for 10, 15 seconds, or and just give a little prayer to this community, and I'm sure it will help bring them back together. And let's keep them in our prayers. If we can bow for just a moment. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so let me kind of explain. The picture that we're looking at here is from Jeff's community. Uh, Many of you may not know his exact demographics, but he lives right kind of on the line between the town that his physical address is, and the town that borders up to that. And all this devastation hit around or less than a mile of Jeff's house. You may have went over to his page and saw one of his little live quick videos that he did as the storm was passing through. The wind, the rain blowing sideways. Anyway, to kind of set this picture up, the cake is sitting there. This is how the tornado left it. The cake sitting up undisturbed, and in the background, you'll see the carnage and the vehicle upside down and the house next to it gone. Basically part of a brick wall standing. And this is throughout the whole community. More than 2/3 of the town is gone, and they're in need. So I just want to put a little quick plug in for this. Jeff reached out to me, knowing my experience in working with some of this kind of stuff, and he and I chatted this afternoon. And just stay tuned, because TNL, Jeff McMullen, are going to team up, and we're going to put something together for the Wisconsin tornado victims. And so just stay tuned. This is coming down the pike, and it's just a teaser.
But please keep them in your prayers as they move through the rebuild and recoup from this. So it's going to be a long road.
Get this off the screen now. Real
You know,
quick.
me being in Oklahoma, I've seen this over and over and over. I live in Tornado Alley.
Well, we do too here in Texas. And as I was mentioning back in the green room, I think it's been 6 years now. The big tornado that hit here in the Dallas area, it was 3 miles from our house. We stood out front. We could actually hear the roar 3 miles away of the tornado. It was anywhere from a half mile to a mile wide. It was on the ground for 13, 14 miles, and absolutely devastated a path. You can even go back in my Facebook. There's pictures, aerial pictures of the scar that it left on the land. And I mean, it just wiped foundations clean for mile after mile after mile. And so I was working with the Lone Star Santas at the time. Me being the closest Santa to the devastation, I was appointed lead man on helping put that convoy together. And it was one of the most meaningful things I've ever done in my life. I went out and spent 2 days taking pictures of the devastation just so I would have it from my memory and all the homes and all the people uh, that was devastated by it. And it was actually 9 fatalities in the Dallas one. Thank God, praise the Lord, not one fatality happened in Wisconsin. But you know, this is just a small portion of what happened. It's just one picture of one house.
You know, and Bob and I definitely we have access to trailers if it occurs and we need to take things there. We'll let y'all know as this progresses and see what they need. Am I correct, Bob?
Yeah, we've just started talking about it, but we feel a need, and we know how the Santa community is, how the Santa community comes together, especially when it affects families and children. And these folks have lost everything they own. 2/3 of a good modern town just wiped out.
So it's important that these children still have some kind of Christmas, and it's our job to help fill that, I think.
Absolutely. So we will be reaching out, asking for help, and
And
like
keep
I
in
say,
mind, it's back to school season too,
no,
That's true.
so maybe school supplies.
everything. I mean,
Yep.
Well, the question is, did the school get damaged? That would be the other thing.
and you know, we were especially lucky. I was telling Jeff today that out of that 13, 14 mile, half mile plus destruction here in the Dallas area, not one church, not one school got hit. It weaved its way around like it intentionally missed the churches and the schools, but just devastated all the homes all around. My aunt's church, where we helped the convoy of toys, 100 yards in front of her church, the tornado crossed the road in front of her, the field across the street, took off the front of the church, the awning portion, and there was a play field right next to the church, and then a subdivision. Every house on those first 3 or 4 streets were gone. I mean, that close to that church. But again, it's like the cake. I mean, how do you explain a cake setting up there where it was setting, and all that devastation around it?
And it come out of somebody's house, obviously, or a store.
Who knows? And how it got placed there with no damage. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well,
Back seat of that car.
yeah,
Well, and going back to talking about churches, Bob, you know, I live backed up to a church community and a school. And when the tornado came through here, it came across. And when it got to my yard, it raised up and went over my house and over the church and then dropped back down on the other side. I had debris in my yard, but I really didn't have any damage. So it's amazing what God does to protect us in the churches.
Just you ask why, but you know, Mother Nature's Mother Nature. So, okay, let's move along. Let's go ahead and say thank you to a couple of our contributors here, the folks that happen to, you know, help these shows and the TNL network exist.
Sorry, I was having a combo.
All right, I want to catch this one right here real quick. This is going to kind of cover you up for a moment, Jenny. But Kane Smith over in Alabama says completely booked is all about perspective. I have 6 box store appearances and 1 parade scheduled. I'm almost fully booked. I still have a civilian job and family time is important. I will never stretch myself out so thin that being Santa feels like a job.
There you
Right.
go. That's it. Thank you. That's exactly the example we needed.
Yeah, good point. We want
Uh,
to want
Kane
to run
goes,
the other side.
what's that, Scott?
You gonna run the other two, or you gonna wait?
Well, let me catch a couple more of these I've got started. I think this was more towards John. Kane was chatting with John at this point. He says, John, I understand it completely. Each day that passes, I work on a retirement plan that will allow me more time to dedicate to being Santa. It is my favorite thing I've ever done. I still have at least 8 more years before I could potentially retire, but being Santa is a huge part of my post-retirement plan. So,
And there's so much you can do now to build the foundation. So, once you do, you step right into what you want to do.
and then here's a response kind of from John back to him. It's their conversation, but it's kind of pertinent to what we're talking about. Well, I keep trying to get back to work, but in the meantime, I'm putting the business together, filing the LLC, creating and revising the business plan, brainstorming the marketing and types of performance I'm willing to do. So, again, pertinent to the conversation.
Yep. Definitely talk to the community, see what kind of events they do, what they like, what they dislike. Try them all out, figure out what you like and dislike.
Did you see where Deanna Golden said hi to you, Jenny?
She did. She waved back to her.
Okay, very good. She had just joined us. She's joined late, so make sure you see. She said howdy, howdy. All right, let's go ahead and let's run a couple more real quick, and we'll be right back with our trivia answers.
We're on cahoots, right?
Yep.
Ho, 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 ho!
Shop Thermo Apparel. They're wonderful. They're fantastic. And for the coolest of cool Santas or Easter bunnies, remember Thermo Apparel.
Don't just be cool as an attitude. Keep cool, literally.
Thermo Apparel! Be cool! Ho, 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 ho!
All right, let's get into these trivia answers. Scott, you go ahead and read them, and I'll give the answers.
Okie dokie. Which color is the most commonly associated with trust in marketing?
It's not red.
It's not red, and we had red as an answer yesterday on the Monday show. If you happen to watch that, that was the red cars that Santa liked to buy that also draws attention by the law enforcement community. But no, the
Like
answer
is it?
is A, blue.
Oh,
Winner there?
Let me
chicken
get
dinner. Winner, winner, chicken
There,
dinner.
let me just say this: there has been quite a battle going on
Quite a battle going on.
between
Okay.
two people. They're like neck and neck. The winner is Bill Coates.
Bill Coates. Bill has been hot lately for sure. And
We
Bill
gotta come
chimed in
up
on
with
yesterday
a
because he is a retired law enforcement, and he was reiterating that yes, red is attractive in the wrong way. All right, Scott, the next one.
What was the first ever social media platform launched in 1997?
Now, Scott and I talked about this one earlier. I had to triple check because I had never heard of this answer. 6 degrees is the answer C. Have any of you ever heard of 6 degree? I had not either. I was expecting MySpace or even
I thought it was MySpace personally,
yeah, but no, 6 degrees, and it was 1997. MySpace came around a couple of years later. Facebook a couple of years. and right about the same time as Facebook read it. Anyway,
I
so
loved MySpace.
yeah,
I heard it's coming back.
I
Well-
hope it does, because I will go back to it.
Well, I will tell you this, Angela. I love MySpace now too, because I have plenty of my own space finally.
Yeah.
we do. And the winner,
Well, like I said, it's been a battle. So the winner of that one was AJ.
AJ. So you know what? We're going to have to come up with a good nickname for Bill
Well,
and Diane.
Stud
Diane Bean's been hot lately. But anyway, guys, your names go on that wheel of destiny, and yeah, looking forward to finding out who the winner is there for the scholarships, which will be for the TNL scholarship, the last show of the season, which is not that far off now.
No, but
All
don't
right.
forget the Halloween show's coming up too, before too long.
All of them are. All the final shows are coming up.
It's hard to really believe this season's almost over.
It's
It really
almost
is. It really
over.
is.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's like we just got started.
That's easy for you to say.
Oh,
But we've been on the road so much, it's why.
whoops, whoops.
Anyway, let's go ahead and play our
Hold on,
last two,
hold on.
and then we'll close out the show.
Hold on, I just have to say to Kane.
My space was
You're
fantastic.
going to have
My
to
own
tell me
theme
what your
song.
theme song is, Kane, because you know what my theme song is if I was a wrestler or something. All right. We got to go to, I'm lost.
Bob,
There
I
you
don't know if you said this, but don't forget to go over to Santa Central Cherry Hill Program's Facebook group tomorrow. And if you're not a member yet, just do it. Go join.
That's right.
They have some great prizes and questions that are based off of this show. So if you're here, am I correct, Bob?
Well, they're not so much doing that still, but they have each one of the recruiting officers, Becky and Tricia and Andy and Becky, and I mentioned Becky, Ruby. They put up different questions, play along questions. Bill, I tell you what, Bill Coat is over there constantly also and very active in that group and asking great questions about Saul.
And I meant to put this
Mallward.
up earlier. Let
Go
me
ahead.
find it again. You were talking about to mention you, and Bill said to mention him. Where did it go?
Yeah, it's competition, right?
No, right here. No, he says Bill Coates sent you.
Good job, Bill. Good job. Hey, I don't care who sends you, just get over and do it. And what we're talking about is, yes, we do get a little bit of a referral bonus if we end up signing someone who has never worked with Cherry Hill before. And it's just a program that they got going, so we're all kind of trying to do our best to bring in new Santas, new set managers, new photographers, that sort of thing. 'Cause we get a few cents on the dollar on the backside of our paycheck if we do that. So,
Well, yeah, so just refer, I mean, if you go to Cherry Hill, guys, just give them somebody's name, but either Bob or Bill, right?
well, there's lots of others that are in there. The whole ambassador program. There's 13 of us in the ambassador program, and
Well, just tell them one of the 13. Say, just one of the 13 referred me. Pick one.
Whoever your best
It can
friend
be-
is.
it can be anybody. I mean, they don't have to be an ambassador. They can be.
Well, then give them my name, okay? I brought it up, give them my name.
But you've never worked for Cherry Hill, so you can do that.
But I'm enrolled with them.
Well,
They don't hire me.
Hey,
They say I'm too good looking.
run the video.
I'll be right back, John.
Welcome to TNL Live.
Angie's Originals, custom Christmas attire since 2015. your all-in-one wardrobe shop. Shop at angiesoriginals.com.
All right, Scott, what is your closing thoughts about tonight's show and our guest?
Well, I want to thank you so much for Jenny coming out and bringing all your knowledge. And now you've got me all geared up to get some other things started and help clean mine up and go down that road. We can't thank you enough for being here and taking the time out of your busy Monday or Tuesday evening and joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the road with T&L on the road, obviously. And hope to see you at Cornerstones as always. So,
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
and please keep Jeff McMillan's community in your prayers. And everybody have a good evening.
Absolutely. And Cornerstones, as I mentioned before, we just keep trying to grow that. I truly do believe this year we have some of the best presenters in the industry with some of the best topics, as Jenny is with marketing and website development. So you certainly don't want to miss her segment. You don't want to miss the others. We will be having a follow-up show on the different presenters, the different curriculum topics that we will have coming up soon. Also releasing the vendors that we will have, including Jenny with her expertise. She sits in there and smiles the whole time and answers everyone's questions. We just love it.
It will, Deanna.
All right. Tell everyone good night, Scott.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Angela. Thank you.
Good night,
And
y'all.
if you would like to stick around to the green room, we'll thank you one more time back here. Remember to
Thanks,
join us
Gary.
for our next Tuesday Night Live each week, 7 p.m. Central. Same Claus time, same Claus channel. Count your blessings, not your sorrows. Everyone, please have a blessed week, and yes, keep Jeff McMillan and his community in your prayers. Good night, all. Happy closing. Never stop learning.
Night.
See you soon on the road with T&L.
Till next time.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.